Why do I keep doing this to myself? Just why? Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and this is going to be another rant video. I'm sure you guys were looking forward to this. Once again, I watched another movie that people have said was one of the worst movies of the year. And I totally agree, because the movie I'm going to review to you is just one of the worst comedies I've ever seen in my entire life. Okay? That movie is Tammy. Tammy. What can I say about Tammy? I actually didn't know what I was going to think of Tammy initially before I heard the reviews. I thought this movie could be good. It has Melissa McCarthy. It has Susan Sarandon. It has Allison Janney. It has Dan Aykroyd. It has Kathy Bates. It could be really good. However, as the reviews started to come out, I heard, this movie was a pile of shit. It's not good. It's not funny. And after watching Tammy, I completely agree, because this movie is extremely unfunny. It's not as bad as Legends of Oz, because that movie personally offended me. However, this movie does have worse elements than Legends of Oz does, and it actually copies things from Legends of Oz. I'm not joking. And we're going to talk about some of the things it does copy from Legends of Oz that Tammy does. And the thing with Tammy is that this movie is not funny. There are points where this movie feels like it should be a drama, and this movie is extremely, extremely cliche. This is Lifetime movie-worthy cliche. Let's talk about what this movie's about. What plot, first of all? There isn't a plot to Tammy. Tammy is about this woman who, she hits a deer. I'm not kidding, that's the first scene. The first scene, she's driving on the road, she's listening to, this 80s song, she hits a fucking deer on her way to her job. Yeah, what a great way to start your movie. What a great scene. The first scene, just, you hit a deer. I would walk out of the fucking movie theater if I paid for this. I don't care. If I were to watch this movie, I would walk out of the fucking movie theater. I'm not joking, guys. She goes to a fast food restaurant where she's working at, and she's fired. Why? I don't know. The movie doesn't tell us why she's fired. She just randomly fired. I don't know why she is fired. Okay? I have no idea why. So, she gets fired. She goes to, basically, she finds her husband, and he's cheating on her, but he's not having sex with this woman. He's having, a romantic dinner with this woman. She goes to her parent. I don't care that I'm spoiling the first 5 minutes of this movie. I'm not joking. This is, the first 5 minutes of the movie. She goes to her mother's house. She wants, basically, to go on, this road trip with, her mother and her grandmother. Her mother doesn't go, but her grandmother does. And basically, she hits the road, and it's, a road trip movie, and that's basically what the movie's about. And I'm not joking, that's the plot of the fucking movie. And then along the way, there's this love story and everything. That's just the plot of the movie. And the thing is, guys, that could be a very good movie if it wasn't done in the first 5 minutes. I'm not joking, the first 5 minutes, she hits a deer, she gets fired from her job for no reason. She finds her boyfriend, not boyfriend, but husband cheating on her for no reason. We don't have any reason why this is happening. There's no build up to it. There's no, oh, this is why this is happening. Maybe if they gave a reason why she was fired from her job, maybe I'd give the movie, I cut some slack because of that, because maybe it would actually be well done. The problem with this movie is that Tammy is not likable. She's not. She's not a likable character. She is probably one of the most annoying characters I have seen in a movie. Extremely annoying. She is a character who thinks she did nothing wrong. There's a character who, Tammy has mental problems. She clearly has a lot of mental problems. She gets fired from her job. She's to everyone, oh my god, before you know, the food is terrible here. The food is contaminated. Oh my god, the food is terrible. And the guy's I'm gonna call the cops. He doesn't call the cops, and she, keeps saying, the food is terrible. And I'm just call the fucking security on her. Because, seriously, if someone were to do that, the security would be there in a second, and the guy doesn't call the fucking security, and I don't get it. Call the security on her. So her car dies on the way home and everything, and then she finds her husband there, and it's not good. Now let's get to the acting in this movie. These people aren't even trying. They're not even trying. Let's talk about Melissa McCarthy. The only reason Melissa McCarthy was in this movie is because her husband directed it. That is the only reason why. And it's really a shame because I personally think Melissa McCarthy is a funny actress. I mean, she's done some very good stuff. She did Bridesmaids, which I haven't seen. I do want to see it, but I heard she was really good in that. She did The Heat last year, which I thought was absolutely hilarious. I thought she was great in The Heat. I really, really liked her in that movie. It was probably one of the biggest surprises of the year for me. I didn't think that movie was going to be that good, and I ended up really liking it. I mean, she definitely did a really good job in that. She did do the terrible Identity Thief last year, which we're not going to talk about, but she has done good stuff. And the problem with this movie is that she's not even trying. She's not. She literally just did this movie like she does all her other characters. There's nothing about Tammy that's different from any of her other characters. She's annoying like her other characters. She's loud. They make fun of the fact that she's, annoying. They make fun of the fact that she's fat and things like that. Like, they just make so many jokes about that, and after a while, it just becomes unfunny. I understand certain comedians have their certain shtick and everything, but this is not okay. When the whole movie, they're just, making fun of the fact that, she's, she's just having a terrible day and everything. I don't sympathize with her character solely because of the fact that I know nothing about her. I know nothing about her. They want us to feel for her in the first 5 minutes of this movie, and I don't feel bad for her at all, and I hate that about her character. Susan Sarandon is just, this is, the worst performance I've ever seen from her, and it's really sad, because I really like Susan Sarandon. I think she's a good actress, and she's done good stuff, but in this movie, she's absolutely terrible. This movie foreshadows what's going to happen to her character so much that when what happened to her character happened, I'm just going to spoil her now because I don't think you guys give a shit if I really spoil what happens in this movie. Do you guys really care if I spoil what happens in Tammy? I don't think you guys do. She ends up, basically her grandmother has so many, bad alcohol problems and everything that she ends up, we think, dead. Oh, and then, of course, they reveal, no, she's not dead, she's just unconscious. First Legends of Oz cliche. Legends of Oz did it, Tammy did it. I don't know why these movies did it in the same year, but they did. And was it terrible, Legends of Oz? Yes. Is it any better than Tammy? No! It's not better than Tammy. In fact, I don't know what's worse. Singing a random song and then randomly waking up and you're okay, or you end up basically, screaming because you think she's dead. It's, the best part of the movie, and then you find out she's not actually dead. I was actually going to praise the movie for that, because that's something I would have liked if they would have just killed her, because she was doomed from the start. The whole movie, she's like, Grandma, you gotta lay on your alcohol problems, you gotta be careful with that and everything. And then, of course, she ends up going to the hospital, and then the same scene, Tammy's arrested. That doesn't make any sense. Tammy should have been arrested in the first 5 minutes of this movie. Come on. The movie's so unrealistic because of that. Kathy Bates randomly comes in the second half of this movie as Lenore, who is her grandmother's cousin, and she does nothing. She does nothing. The only thing I remember about her character is that she takes Tammy pours gasoline on a car, and she throws, fire onto it. That's all I remember about her character. There's nothing memorable about her. Allison Janney is just, has nothing to do. She's not good either. Dan Aykroyd randomly comes into part of this movie to bail her out of jail. It's so stupid. And let's talk about the most annoying part of this movie. Gary Cole as Earl. Basically, he comes in to be Pearl's love interest. I'm not joking. They randomly find these two guys on their road trip. And you don't think anything of it. They could just use these two guys and have fun with them. But no, they gotta be love interests. Because this is basically, here's what the director was saying. Well, you see, our movie, this is probably a discussion. Well, you see, our movie has to be the funniest thing ever, and we need to make it, so relatable. So we gotta have genuine heart to this movie. And the only way to do that is to have a love interest so people actually care about Tammy. What they didn't know is that doing this makes the movie stupid. It does. There's a random love interest for Tammy. Basically, he comes in, and what happens is he comes in 3 times into the movie. 3 times! I'm not kidding. 3 times into the movie, Mark Duplass comes in. And it's so stupid because he's supposed to be Tammy's, love interest, and he ruins the entire thing. And it's really sad that it's Mark Duplass, because Mark Duplass has done good things. He did Safety Not Guaranteed, which was a very good movie, and it's really sad that he did this. He just did The One I Love, which I thought was a great movie, and I thought he did a great job in that movie. He just did it, and he was great in that, and then he did stuff like this. Come on. He did not do a good job at all, and his character just was completely pointless. There's so many characters in this that are completely pointless. We meet up with Allison Janney's girlfriend. We meet up with, like, Toni Collette, who is, like, a neighbor of theirs. There are so many unnecessary things about this movie. And I'm gonna say what Chris Stuckman said. The most memorable scene of this movie, basically. The most memorable scene of this movie, I'm gonna talk about for a second. Okay, you guys probably know it. She goes into the food restaurant and everything. She puts a paper bag over her head and starts, like, randomly dancing. And the thing is, like, there's no actual music in the radio. It's just, like, she's randomly dancing. It's not funny. It's just, like, what's wrong with you? And the thing is with this movie, there are so many times where they try to be dramatic. So many times. And it doesn't work. It does not work at all. And the reason it doesn't work is because when there's something funny, I mean, when there's something, like, serious and actually, like, really, really genuine, there's a good scene where, like, basically Tammy and her grandmother are discussing, like, her alcohol problems, and it seems like it's gonna be a good scene. But then, of course, her grandmother's like, did I flash my tits last night? And I'm like, you completely ruined it, because I actually thought that would have been a good scene. But no, her grandmother is taken out to a hospital, and she's like, did I flash my tits last night? I'm like, seriously? This is what you want to do with your movie. This is what you want to do. And the movie's literally just bad situation after bad situation. At no point do you really care about anything about this movie. And I don't want to talk about this movie for that much longer, but let's talk about the ending of this movie, okay? The best part of this movie is the ending. And when I say the best part, I mean the part that made me just scream and hate this movie, and made me realize that the second worst movie of the year. They go to Niagara Falls, and this is extremely cheesily done. There's, like, some happy song that's being played, which, by the way, guys, soundtrack to this movie is actually really good. That's, like, what the only thing I can say about this movie that's actually really good, is the soundtrack. The soundtrack I liked. I liked the songs in the movie. I like the songs. That's the only thing I can really say about the movie, is that the soundtrack is good. Also, they go to this whole thing where, like, Tammy tries to bail her mother out of a retirement home. Why would you try to bail someone out of a retirement home? That's like a paradise. Like, are you really that brainless, Tammy? I'm not joking. She goes to a retirement home, and her grandmother's, like, all happy and everything, and she goes to, like, bail her out. Why would you try to do that? A retirement home is like a paradise for an old person. Don't you know this? Are you that fucking brainless, Tammy? Like, seriously. She's been, like, attending Alcoholics Anonymous class, and I'm just like, I don't give a shit what's going on with her character. Like, this is not subtly done at all. It's not subtly done in any certain way. And then, of course, they go to Niagara Falls, and there Tammy meets up with Bobby. They kiss, and she finds out that she wants to move to Louisville to get a fresh start in life and get closer to him, and that's how the movie ends. And then, of course, there's, like, some random blooper sequence, and that's basically the movie. And I'm just sitting there like, was this movie trying to be a romantic movie? Because the movie ends how, like, a romantic comedy ends, and this movie's not a romantic comedy. It's a buddy road trip movie that doesn't really know what it wants to be. Doesn't want to be a serious movie, doesn't want to be a road trip movie, doesn't want to be a romantic movie. It's everything and nothing at the same time. If you don't see this movie, nobody cares. Nobody cares if you're not going to see this movie. Just do me a favor, don't see this movie. Just don't. It's not going to do you anything. You're not going to be happy. You're gonna, like, basically rent this movie and be like, why the fuck I just watched this? And if you really want to see the movie, just go watch it on Solar Movie. I watched it on fucking Solar Movie. I don't care, okay? I don't care. I watched it on Solar Movie. This movie will make you just, like, scream. This movie will make you hate the character of Tammy. And I'm very interested in St. Vincent now, because I really want to see Melissa McCarthy actually do something good. I really do. I want to see that movie now. I think that it could be really good, and I want to see her do something really good in it, because I think that she could be really good in this movie. It's unfortunate that she does these kind of movies, but if I had to rate this movie, I'd give this movie, like, a 1.5. A 1.5. That's what I give this movie. Maybe even a 0.5. I really dislike this movie. I can't really find anything that redeemable about it other than, like, the soundtrack. And I completely agree with Chris Stuckman. At the end of the day, there's really nothing redeemable about this movie. And I encourage all of you not to see this movie because it fucking sucks. Oh, also, this movie came out 4th of July weekend. Yeah. 4th of July weekend, keep in mind. The tagline of this movie is called Declare Your Independence. That's just to get people to see it because it's on July 4th. Like, seriously, it doesn't do anything. It's not going to do any good if you see this movie. Just avoid it. avoid it. It's not a good movie, and just don't see it. So that's basically it for my rant on Tammy. Let me know what you guys saw of this movie, if you have seen it, which I really hope you guys didn't. I really don't want you guys to suffer. I don't do these reviews because I want you guys to watch them. I do these reviews to warn you guys on how bad these movies are. And wow, I've done three really good movies so far. Am I gonna see another bad movie? No! No, I'm not watching another bad movie. Are you kidding me? No, I'm actually gonna watch a good movie. I'm not watching another bad movie after I've seen 3 movies. I almost watched Legends of Hercules, but I'm like, I do not want to watch 2 terrible movies about legends. I really don't. And that's basically it for this review. I don't know what I'm doing in my life. I don't know why I'm watching these terrible movies. These movies really show that I don't have a life. And I'll see you guys in my next video, which I promise will be for something better than this piece of shit. Bye-bye.